Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deerigan. Alongside me is our only normal cast member, PK Power, Pat Klein.
Yep. Unfortunately, everyone else basically said they can't do it.
Yeah, LeBron's pooping. Stephanie's off.
Probably pooping. I don't know. Everyone poops.
I mean, that is true. Yeah, we did have that conversation in our group chat today. So.
Yeah.
We do have two very special guests right now, though, Pat. We have the YouTube superstar Danomak is here.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, Dan. How are you?
Hi.
I'm good.
I like your Pikachu shirt.
Thank you. It's from Uniqlo. And you know how they are.
Nice.
They don't sell their shirts anymore. It's very... Oh, no. I think this is actually straight from Nintendo.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh.
it is. It says Nintendo. That's... Yep.
Yeah. Oh.
Nice.
My fun fact: my daughter, not a Pikachu fan. She's an Eevee fan.
So, is she explicitly not a Pikachu fan, or is she just not into Pikachu? Because it'd be really funny if she hates Pikachu.
She does not like Pikachu. She likes Eevee and she likes Squirtle. So
She's a Pokemon Blue trainer the whole way through.
yeah, she's something.
I wrote a whole article about how Pokemon Eevee is the blue, and I wrote exactly why. It's basically because it's Gary's Pokemon. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thanks for letting me hang out tonight.
Yeah.
Can we talk about view games and stuff?
Yeah. Sometimes we do.
Something.
Sometimes. We do have a special cameo appearance by the one and only Stars. Right? No.
He
Raccoon City
never
Police,
was on Stars. No.
Police Force's finest is
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
Leon S. Kennedy. I don't know. I don't play Resident Evil. Sorry. Whoops.
Listen, everybody poops, but if you poop out a parasite, you need to call me, and I'll come over and blast that motherfucker,
Whoa!
and then
Yes.
take you to bingo.
In that order, hopefully.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Speaking
Bingo
of which,
before being blasted. Not good.
I am only here to say hello. I was here for the pre-show for these individuals called patrons. I have no idea what they are, but Stephanie is on her way down because she cannot record a podcast without Dan, her friend. She's very excited to be speaking with him. So I just wanted to say hi, and I will be right back with your co-host.
Well, Leon, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate
good
you
to see
taking some time.
Good luck out there.
Be safe.
Thank you for clearing Steph of all the parasites.
Blasting bingo.
Jeez, blasting bingo. Jeez, gosh, this show gets worse every week. What is going on?
Should I know more about bingo? Maybe I'm making jokes.
I think the rules changed since I was in school.
Okay.
Well, if you haven't played Resident Evil 4, there is a very funny line where all the villagers start after they started beating up on Leon. They just walk away after they hear a church bell, and Leon's like, "Where'd everyone go? Bingo."
Got it.
Yeah. Did you know you can trigger that line early when if you shoot the bell?
Yep.
Hey,
Oh my gosh! Look,
friends.
Stephanie's here.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Hi, Stephanie. You
Missed you
just missed
guys.
Leon. He
We
was
were worried.
I know.
hanging out.
I really wanted his autograph, but he was in a rush. He had to take care of some urgent
Bingo.
issues. I don't know if he had to go to the bathroom or not. He seemed like he was holding his
Just
stomach.
kept talking about pooping. I don't understand why.
Oh, you know.
He probably
Blasting
needed to get up
parasites.
on some green and red herb.
Oh, yep. I do have
Mix-
some
do
green
some
herb
mixing?
upstairs that I can probably offer him.
It's just funny to think about Resident Evil characters going through your garden and ravaging it because they were looking for
Right?
healing
Looking out the
herbs.
Hey, who's that?
No.
What's wrong with
Speaking of
my
who's that?
room?
Hi, Dan. I miss you.
Hi, Steph. I'm right here now. The missing can end for now. No,
Yes.
I'm happy to hang.
We still should check out the Shovel Knight concert in New York.
Yeah, we have to figure that out.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
All right,
lucky
anyway,
bastards.
Hi.
I'm jealous.
I get a Final Fantasy concert in January. So
That's exciting. Which one?
Yeah.
Is it Rebirth or
I already did. Rebirth was this year. I did see that, and that was awesome.
Cool.
This is Distant Worlds, going to focus on 14 and 16, but they also have the singers for Yukadene
Hmm.
and Wish, the Final Fantasy 16 theme song.
That's awesome.
And they're supposed to have a very awesome organ piece with Dancing Mad.
Ooh,
Ooh.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
nice.
so I'm looking forward to
Video
it
game concerts are extremely in right now, and I think we're all better for it.
Mm-hmm.
very much.
I'm going to Disney on Ice in January, so
Hey, counts.
Hmm.
There's the Epic Mickey game, right?
yeah. Yeah. It's something we do with my daughter every year, and she's very excited because she loves Wish and Encanto, and those are the two featured movies in this one. So I just wanted to contribute to the conversation. It does not have anything cool to do with the video games, but it's fine.
I think it's great.
Mhm.
Except Encanto was in Disney Dreamlight Valley, so I guess I could tie it all the way back.
Yeah, see? There you go.
We don't talk
Oh,
about Bruno.
yeah. Dan, thanks for hanging out tonight. Who are you? Why should people know who you are?
Who am I? I am Dan first and foremost, but my YouTube channel is called Danomak, and you go there for me to talk your ear off about video games and in varying degrees of obsession and just stuff I like to say. And yeah, reviews. If you have a bad game you like and no one liked it, I'll probably find a way to like it,
Nice.
and so on and so
I
forth.
highly recommend. Dan has a very, very, I don't know, there's something about your voice, Dan, that when you prattle on about amazing video games, it's just so soothing and I love it. That's
That's
when
the
I heard you
first
on.
compliment I've ever gotten on my voice ever, and I appreciate
When
it.
There's something about voices. I told Corey the same thing too. When I first
Mm.
found Nintendo Power Block, I'm like, man, that Corey guy's a cool voice. I want to keep listening to it. Not in a creepy way, but in like, I don't
Yeah.
know. There's just something about like a cool, like when you find a cool broadcaster's voice. And in Dinosaur Machines podcast, I'm like, oh, this Dan guy's got a cool way about him. And and then now we're all friends.
Then she
Yes.
became obsessed with both of us, Dan, and then she made her way into both
These
of our lives.
dulcet tones. They. I feel like I have a weird voice, so I appreciate you
I
saying
know.
that. I hear it and I'm like, ugh.
I hate my voice.
But that's
I do
everyone,
everything
right?
in my power
Yeah.
on Nintendo Power Block to make sure it doesn't sound like my voice. I put some Apple Pro Res on it and some voice
I
isolation.
tried to do voice filtering on my channel, and somebody was like, dude, what's wrong with your voice? And I was like, fine. I'll make it sound normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you. And that is what I do. I guess I talk.
You have a great channel, and
Thank you.
you hit a pretty big milestone recently too.
It
so.
hit 20,000
Mhm.
subscribers, which makes no sense. And I'll out myself because it's what happened. The one video that did this was an unboxing of a Nintendo Switch.
Nice.
I literally just unboxed it, and it's why my channel is where it's at. So
That's awesome,
if
man.
you're thinking about making that video, whatever the heck it is, just make it.
Do it with a Nintendo Switch.
Looks
Yeah,
like
do it, yeah.
when Switch 2 comes out, we're all gonna unbox it, maybe
I'm-
twice.
Yes.
The sad truth is that I'm gonna run out and be like, I gotta do it. I gotta
There's
try
multiple
again.
versions of this thing, and I'm gonna buy both of them just
Yeah.
to unbox both of them.
Buy both of them, mix and match the parts, go nuts.
Yeah.
Yep.
be
Hopefully we
great.
don't have to deal with them scalpers.
We will defeat them.
Yeah.
We have resolve and experience on our side.
It's funny. The second biggest video I ever did was the unboxing of the Horizon Zero Dawn Collector's Edition
Something
on
about
my
unboxings.
old YouTube channel.
I have I haven't done it yet, but the Sea of Stars limited run thing. I want to do that, but I'm also like afraid to open it. But
Why?
well, I'm gonna open it because there's a lot of it's like heavy. There's like a lot in here.
Yeah.
So now it's just, but that's like
Mhm.
I try to be selective about what I unbox because I feel like they're dangerous tools.
Yeah.
I do have the Ori Collector's Edition for the Switch. The 8-bit one that's got both versions and like a hell of a lot of stuff. That was still sealed for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Solid.
Nice. I stopped caring if things were sealed.
Yeah.
If things are still sealed, it's because I'm lazy, not because I don't want to open it. And because I'm never going to get rid of it in my lifetime, because unless I'm like super, super duper poor and just can't afford anything. So,
That-
knock on wood, hopefully I don't have to
Right.
do that anytime soon.
Let's hope that's not going to be a scenario you have to navigate.
I
But
have.
if I do, what?
I was gonna say I have the Silent Hill Shattered Memories for the PlayStation 4, which is considered one of the rarest PlayStation 4 games out there, still sealed. And my friend has literally told me if I ever bust a seal on that, he will kill me.
Well, that's inspiration to keep things close too.
Mhm.
Threat of death.
Threat
Like,
of death.
he's a collector by heart, and even
Mm.
though he knows I wouldn't give that game up, he's like, "Don't do it. That thing is mint."
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know if I have anything rare anymore. I got rid of most of my stuff a while ago because I just didn't care really. I collected it because I was like, oh, I want to be a collector, and then I was like, I don't care about Valkyrie Profile on PlayStation 1
Yeah.
and the guide that had never been used. I'm gonna sell it.
It's tough because you never know. I had Panzer Dragoon Saga on Sega Saturn.
Ooh,
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I sold it
Nice.
for a lot at the time too. I was like, "Wow, you want to give
Yeah.
me $300? That is
yeah,
peanuts for that game now."
yeah,
And I like unironically love that game. It's really good. I was at the time I was like, "This game's better than Final Fantasy 7. I don't want to hear nothing about no one else." I was, not totally right, but I felt that way about it. I was like ready. It's a good game,
yeah.
and I miss it every day.
Aw.
Yeah, there's a few games that there are two events in my life why I like decided that collecting just wasn't going to be for
Mhm.
me. One, my apartment burned down in 2011 and I lost a lot of the games that I had there. And then before I met my wife, I was in a relationship and we'll say it was a messy breakup, and I left like it was one of those situations where like I was just trying to get everything out that I could and shove it in my car so I could leave as fast as I could. And like half of my GameCube and Wii collection was there.
That sucks. Those are
So
two very unfortunate situations that
Mhm.
I'm glad they didn't. I feel like some people would let that rightfully tarnish their outlook on collecting anything ever.
mhm.
So it's good that you still like to have stuff and enjoy stuff.
Yeah. I'm just kind of very selective on what I collect now instead of
Yeah.
having to collect everything. So
That's good.
right now it's Switch physical games and collectibles for various IP that I enjoy.
Solid.
So anyways, speaking of collecting, we would like to collect your patronage. You can head on over to patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. You can support us for as little as $1, and you can get the pre-show to this. You can get expansion pass, book club a month early, all kinds of cool stuff over there, interviews, cool things like that. But if you can't support us financially, you can go subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Boss Rush Network, or on podcast services everywhere. If you listen on them podcast services, leave us a 5-star rating and a nice review. If you're watching on YouTube, like the video, subscribe, hit the bell, all those YouTubey things.
Ding
Right?
dong.
Yeah. Do I have to point and use graphics to?
I like to illustrate the thumbs up in case they forget what it looks like.
Nice. Well, you are the pro tuber here, so
I wish that were true, but I appreciate your kind words.
you're welcome. So yeah, we're actually gonna switch things up. We got a lot of community write-ins this week, so we're gonna kick things off with those, because you all are just so important to us in what we do. And yeah, if you wanna write in, join the Discord, or you can email us, or you can tweet at us, do all the things, look for the threads and all the places, all the right places. Right now, we're going to answer Sam Hall's question, who has been leaving comments on every YouTube video, every Boss Rush podcast every week. This is how he writes in. And he
What's up,
says,
Sam?
Sam says, "Hey everyone, Halloween is approaching, and that means costumes and parties. What are your plans for Halloween? What are you dressing up as? What is your favorite part about Halloween? Thanks."
Solid question.
Solid.
I use that word a lot. I'm gonna have to fix it.
I like it. I'm gonna steal it. Dan, you're our esteemed guest. You're answering first. What are you dressing up as? Are you gonna be? You got a Pikachu onesie you're gonna run around in?
Oh, you know what? Actually, I have not fully decided. Every year, as a backup costume, I've got literally Peter B. Parker from Across the Spider-Verse.
Nice. Sweatpants.
Specifically, sweatpants over the spider suit I have a green jacket.
Nice.
And it works. And I wear two different sneakers. And it's perfect. It's like a good fallback. But this year, I think we might be a group of gabagools, which is to say Italian dudes who look like undead and also spooky things. So like I would be like wearing a sweatsuit with Frankenstein face.
Nice.
Which might be, we'll see.
Nice.
And we our plans are going to be to give out candy off the stoop.
Nice.
Throw it at kids.
Cool.
Not the kids. We throw the candy at them. We don't throw the kids at the candy.
Like a fastball.
Right.
Yeah. Just king size bars on your face.
Right. You gotta hoist. Oh yeah, that's usually what we do. Unless there's a party. I want to go to a party this year, but I don't know if it's gonna happen.
Man, I don't even remember the last part. Yes, I do. It was before my daughter was born. Was the last Halloween party I went to. I went as 3-hole punch Jim, and my wife went as Cat Pam, from The Office.
Oh, okay.
And
classic.
Yeah, that was a fun party. But that was so long ago.
The before times.
Yes, the before times. We were young whippersnappers back then. She liked me. She actually talked to me. Now we.
Do you have plans this year at all?
To take the trash out and wash the dishes and.
Oh, I thought you meant your daughter.
No.
Although it would be really funny if she was like, "Hey, do dishes."
No, she tells me to clean up her markers and paper because she doesn't want to do it.
Kid dishes.
Yeah, dishes. Oh man, life's tough. Get a helmet. Pat, what are you going as?
Me?
What are you dressing up as?
Well, I will be dressing up in my normal work clothes because it's a Thursday. I have no kids, and I have to work.
I have to work too. But
I also live in a giant apartment complex, so no one can get into my building, so I don't need to worry about getting candy for people other than myself.
Yes, you can. Just throw it out there. See what kind of rabid animals you can pick up.
Sprinkle it, and they'll gather like pigeons, except they'll be very angry, dressed up dinosaurs and things.
Yeah, or the homeless crack addict on the corner. He might.
It is a grab bag at that point. I think you're right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe the crack addict will make a friend with one of the stray pets.
I will probably
be helping the world.
I will at least try to play a horror themed game during Halloween, though.
There you go.
Nice.
I've actually been trying to dedicate this till like the 31st to play more just spoopier titles or Halloween themed.
Nice. Stephanie, you gonna borrow your friend Leon's jacket and kind of?
Yeah, and now that I moved locations and the lighting is much brighter, I can see the makeup for my trial run for Leon Kennedy, because there's like certain contouring that you do to have a more masculine face, and I have like makeup that's supposed to make me look dirty, and when I'm not in full costume, it looks kind of silly. Yeah, I think I will be borrowing Leon's jacket and maybe a wig. I don't know. But on Halloween itself, normally Halloween's not really that big of a deal for me. I kind of lost love for it until my son was born, and then I forced upon him the role as Link. For several years of his life, he was Link from The Legend of Zelda, and I would be some sort of companion. I was Zelda once in a terrible, like it was just a bad costume. So I don't know. Then one year I was Fi or Fee. That was probably my favorite. I was Master Koga.
Majora's Mask. Skull Kid and Majora.
Yeah, thank you. Skull Kid from Majora's Mask. So we had a bunch of great Zelda themed Halloween costumes, but this year he wants to be some like silly, stupid creeper skin from Minecraft that I can't even look up the image because it's just some random skin. So I'm just left to my own devices. Now, granted, I might have to work that night actually. The good news about working that night is that they are holding a contest there for best dressed employee and best dressed customer. So I actually ordered a nice Zelda outfit. So if I do work that night, or if I go out, I guess either or, I'll be the traditional Princess Zelda. I even have a blonde wig for it. So I'm looking forward to dressing up as Zelda proper.
That's good. That sounds. Are you gonna try to do which Zelda is traditional in your head? I feel like Ocarina.
Yeah, it's Ocarina.
Yeah, I feel like I've never seen someone dress up as Zelda from the NES.
Yeah.
All you need is just
No.
a pink puffy dress
Right. It's like almost like a ball gown.
I
with
feel
the
like
puffy shoulders.
Yeah.
I feel like Twilight Princess Zelda would be too expensive, even though that's the Zelda I think of as traditional Zelda.
It's a good call.
Oh, yeah, it's
But
yeah.
but I'm also weird and think Twilight Princess is the best 3D Zelda. So whatever, it's cool.
It's a good game. She's got armor on in that one, huh?
Yeah, and a
Yeah,
sword.
no, that's a
Oh,
badass
dude,
Zelda.
this is Blade Waifu Zelda. Sword
Mhm.
waifu. Sword waifu,
Pretty
not Blade
much.
waifu.
Yeah. Also, the I think an underrated Zelda though, Hyrule Warriors Zelda.
You know, I
Underrated.
was just looking at that game on my shelf, and I was
If
like,
I had Oh,
I
sorry,
should
go
play.
ahead.
I was just saying I should play more of it. That's
Nah, you don't need to
Yeah.
play it. It's just cool.
If I had all the money in the world and time, which I don't, I would love to be Tears of the Kingdom Zelda in the
Mm,
brain fart Zonai outfit
yeah, that's my favorite.
and do
I
that
think that's the
pose with the
most
sword.
the most aesthetically pleasing Zelda, in my opinion. That's why I want that Figma figure so bad. But
that's this Zelda, right? She's got
the amiibo one,
Yes. Yep, that
yeah,
one.
that one.
Yeah, they moved her away from the pink. She
Yeah.
has pink all the way up till Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the Skyward Sword Zelda.
Mm.
She's
Yeah.
just because she's more down to earth in that one.
Yeah, her personality's spunky, but she doesn't really feel like Zelda in that game. I like her though. I like that character a lot. She just doesn't feel like Zelda. You know what I mean?
She didn't feel like royalty. She felt more like just the girl next door.
Yeah.
Your childhood friend.
Yeah, well, I think they were more than friends. They were
Clearly,
mastering that sword, you know what I mean?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Clearly you don't play enough JRPGs.
Oh, you're
The
right.
childhood friend is always the love interest.
Big trope, yeah.
You're right. I try, but I haven't played a lot. But yeah, that's Oh, I guess I should probably answer, huh? I don't
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to dress up as anything.
What?
There's nothing to
I'll loan you my Zelda outfit.
Oh,
my
really?
God.
That'd be amazing.
Kind of great.
Might fit.
Believe it or not, I have a backup costume, so you can have my Zelda costume.
Yes.
What's your backup costume?
Astarion. I have like the wig. I have
Oh,
the white makeup.
yes. I do recall this.
Yeah. So I don't know. I have too many choices this year.
Yeah. I at some point I do want to do Halloween and maybe go to a party at some point, but I just it's not going to happen this year.
Or
So,
maybe, probably too late this year, a Boss Rush virtual Halloween party.
yeah. That'd be
Yeah.
fun too.
I would have gone to that.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks,
Thanks,
Dan.
I would showed up.
Corey.
Huh?
No,
What?
like not sarcastic
I
thanks
didn't think it
to you,
was.
Dan.
I
Okay.
was being used as a weapon. I felt it.
Oh.
You grabbed me by my ankles and you swung me at Corey.
Sorry. But yeah, I just I've always wanted to buy one of those like really really super expensive superhero costumes, but I've always been too large to portray the image of a superhero. So
You just gotta think of the cooler superheroes that don't fit into that boring mold.
yeah, about that.
Juggernaut?
No.
Come on. All right. Well,
I don't have the physique for that either.
no, but the costumes usually come with some stuff that you can like kind of. I was Batman one year and I did not have a 6-pack. I still do not.
Yeah, I don't either. But I would want a costume that covers the body, right? That just like
What is it? Spanx? Is that what it's called? That pulls all your stuff in.
Yeah. Well, I was actually looking at them because I was like, maybe one day I can do this. And I was looking at the way like some of these costumes were constructed, and they're actually like a lot of plastic inside these things.
Oh,
to
you're
hide
not
everything.
They're
looking at
garbage. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that would be cool. But yeah, I did think about maybe at PAX next year cosplaying one day, but I don't know what it would be.
I was an Overcooked character for a PAX one year, and I think I want to cosplay this year.
Yeah.
But something that I can like move around in, not like
Yeah.
I was literally a dude with a cardboard box on his head. It was miserable. My nose was pushed up against the box.
Oh no.
Oh,
It looked great, but I could not look good. You know what I mean? It did
Yeah.
not. I could not
See
see
good.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we'll see by the time PAX rolls around. We'll see what happens. We'll
Yeah.
see
I'll
if
be Leon. You be my Ada.
So,
Damn.
yeah, we could do the gender swap thing.
Yep.
Or should I just wear a wig? I don't know. And somebody's gonna call me like, I don't know. Somebody's gonna make fun of me because I'm like a white guy playing an Asian woman, and they're just gonna yell at me. I already
There's
feel it.
always a way to do something silly in a tasteful way.
Yeah, but I'm not crafty enough to do that. I feel like somebody would yell at me.
No, but you have an Asian by your side, and I will karate chop them in the groin.
I'm not
That's
sure if
racist.
This helps or hurts. Also, that seems you have to get
No, not karate
awkward.
chop. Apologize. I will roundhouse kick them in
Yeah.
the groin.
That's more white. There you go.
Yeah. So that's a goal. I'm gonna write that down.
There you go.
Goal.
Thanks, Sam.
A roundhouse kicked by Steph?
Yes, that's my goal for PAX next year, is to make Steph so mad that she roundhouse kicks
Could
me.
you imagine a real life roundhouse kick in the wild? Not even at like an MMA match, like someone just getting laid out by someone else who can actually do a roundhouse kick.
So I don't know if I should tell the story here. Seems like the wrong platform for this.
Sounds like an After Dark. Mode.
No, well, it's fuck it. Who cares? My ex-girlfriend's sister got really mad at me one time and like drop kicked me in the chest, and it hurt really bad.
I'm sorry for your pain.
To the point where like I couldn't breathe for like a day and a half. It really hurt.
Probably almost had a collapsed lung.
I thought she like broke my sternum or something because it like hurt really bad to breathe. Oh,
so she drop kicked you?
Yeah,
like she ran up and that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Corey, you probably deserved it.
She was drunk, and I called her a name that probably shouldn't have called her.
Drunkenly drop kicked you? I'm not impressed. I'm a little impressed. It's just I'm happy you're okay, but
yeah, I'm alive. It's fine.
Yeah,
it was 15 years ago.
Fine. So. Cough, blood. No, it's good. This happens all the time.
Yeah, my nose is bleeding. It's fine.
Yeah,
my brain isn't hemorrhaging or anything.
Nah.
Our next question comes from Deshaun Malone. Hey, y'all, what do you think of the 8th anniversary of the Nintendo Switch being announced? What are your memories of the console being announced? Did it do something to make you buy it? Yes, they announced it, so I bought it. I was on my honeymoon when it was announced, and I had to like call Ed on Facebook Messenger to talk about it. It was awful. And then like I made an Instagram video about it while I was on my honeymoon, and everybody was like yelling in the comments of the video. People were like, "You're on your honeymoon. You should be hanging out with your wife." I'm like, "She's in the shower."
Why aren't you in the shower with her?
Yeah.
Fair point.
Again, that's a topic for another platform. But yeah, that's the memory I have of the Switch being announced and buying it, because POW Block was like a year and a half in at that point, and it was the first time we were covering a console launch, and it was very exciting to do that. This is only the second console launch since that podcast launched.
Wow. Well, Nintendo likes to make us wait.
Yeah.
One day we'll find out about a Switch too.
Yeah. Yes, people will find out soon.
The Nintendo ounce.
Well,
Um,
hopefully it'll be a little while because I need to recover from the $250 I spent from the analog 3D. So,
And also the PS5 Pro.
mhm.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
I was very fond of I have very oh hey, and by the way, hi Deshaun.
Mhm.
Fond memories of the Switch. The commercial, first of all, very nostalgic for that. I was so hyped for it, but it was primarily Zelda Breath of the Wild as the launch title that because this Nintendo Switch was the first console ever in my life that I bought day one. Any other time, I almost waited till the console was toward the end of its life because I was poor and couldn't afford things, and I would usually pick them up like either used, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't that much of a game fan where I needed things on day one, but the Nintendo Switch was worth it. So I was working, and my ex husband, and I will always give him credit for that. My ex husband, I said, you need to do whatever you can at all costs while I'm at my job, unable to pick this up. Go get me a Nintendo Switch and Breath of the Wild. That poor man went to like 5 different stores, couldn't find the Switch, but he found Breath of the Wild, so he at least bought me Breath of the Wild. And then the next day I stumbled upon, like when it was the weekend or I don't know, whenever it was the weekend, the mall, and they had an Amazon store, like a brick and mortar store, which is no longer there, and it's unfortunate. Because the store is so new, not many people knew that they sold Nintendo Switches there. So when
Hmm.
I went in and saw some behind the counter, I'm like, cha-ching. So fond memory. And I played Breath of the Wild all weekend just for hours and hours and hours. Ah,
Game is so good.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was the last time I actually took time off of work to play a video game, was Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And I played it so much that like I played it from the moment I woke up to like the moment I went to bed. Like
Yeah.
that whole week. It was amazing.
It's just like they could not have picked a better way to launch the Switch.
Mm-mm.
Like not just because it was Zelda, but it was the way it felt literally like the first Zelda again.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way it looked. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I'm going to say too. I have not the same story as Steph, but like just playing Breath of the Wild. And I remember thinking it's the new Zelda. I got to play it, but like it immediately, and I was commuting at the time, became this thing where I was like, I can just bring this thing, and then I go home and I plop it in my TV, and then I play it again. Are
Yep.
you kidding?
Yeah.
And it was so seamless. I still think of the hybrid consoles, it's the most seamless design.
Mm-hmm.
I think they
Mhm.
need to. I really hope the new one echoes that. But just and it sounds so silly now because like obviously the Steam Deck can do it. The Aya Neo Fahogugots can do it. Like everything can swap the TV. But that like it's so hard to
Led the
talk
way.
about it.
Yeah.
Say again.
Sorry, it led the way. It really
Oh, it
was.
did. It
Mm.
it's just like now it's such a thing that happens everywhere. But like yeah, like that
Yeah.
feature alone was like, are you kidding? And I love my 3DS. I was so mad they weren't doing more 3DSs, and they sold me pretty quick on how that's fine for now, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully Switch ounce, whatever you call it,
Yeah.
soon.
The Super Nintendo Switch.
I think they should do that. I
I
think you're
really
right.
do.
Um,
Oh,
How about
I
you,
still have
Pat?
my
mm,
sealed copy of my Wii U version of Breath of the Wild. I
Nice.
put it in a plastic case to not ruin it.
mhm.
Hmm. Yeah, I can't remember. I mean, obviously, I was excited for a new Nintendo system, especially since my friend and I bought a Wii U together, and we would like switch off like who had it every now and then. But then he and his family moved out to Utah and took the Wii U with them.
Oh.
So I didn't
Oh,
have my Nintendo system was basically my 3DS at that point,
Mm.
and so I was excited to get a new Nintendo system, obviously to play Breath of the Wild, but even the commercials showed things like the new Mario, and the Mario looked absolutely fantastic. Um, but yeah, it was the whole idea that it was a handheld system that could go onto your TV as well. And to
Mm-hmm.
me, that's just like I loved my handheld systems. I also like to play on the big screen and just being able to like grab and go. Just that was a cool appeal to me. So Nintendo needs to make sure that the next system does the same.
Yeah. I feel like it's still like it has not gotten old. You know, even though
Yeah.
the system is clearly outdated and stuff, like just like playing Echoes of Wisdom and then going boop, and then oh, I can't play in the living room tonight. No problem, moving in here. Like,
Yeah.
dang.
No, you're absolutely right. Like the concept and the feel of it when I turn it on, I don't think like, man, what a piece of shit 8-year-old system. And like I said, aside from, the hardware, it technically is very dated, but like
Mhm.
the feel of it, holding it, I don't think I would get tired of honestly the Nintendo Switch for many more years to come,
Mm-hmm.
honestly.
Yeah. I feel like the two most important things also most of the time run incredibly well on the Switch anyway. Like Nintendo first party games,
Yeah.
most of them run incredibly well. And then 95% of indies run incredibly well.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's there's a couple third party games on there that I was quite surprised playing on there and how well they ran. Like Wolfenstein 2, I played the entirety of Wolfenstein 2 on the Switch, which like not the ideal place to play it, but it ran smooth. It felt good to play. Like it also like the weird non HDness because it only runs at like 540p on the screen in handheld mode.
Yeah.
Gave it that weird kind of filter that you want from like a game set in the 60s. So it had this unintentional cool effect to it. And then Doom also I played Doom on it also. The Witcher was actually really good on there. So there's quite a few third party games that actually feel okay to play on there if that's the only way you can play them, or if you want to play handheld versions of these. Obviously, now that the Steam Deck exists, most people will probably transition those third party games there, but yeah, it's just crazy the way the Switch has held up for so long
Mm-hmm.
at that technical level. So
For
I
me, oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead, Pat.
I was gonna say, there's one thing that keeps the Switch from being my main system, and that is trophy support or achievement support.
That's how Mark feels.
It's like if you gave me trophies or achievements other than the ones that appear on the game, I would obviously get a hell of a lot more games for the Switch.
Yeah, and they played around with that on the Wii U, right? With the sticker books, like
Yes.
Super Mario 3D World has the sticker book, and Twilight Princess has a stamp book, and like there's like 4 or 5 games that have this stamp book, and I was like, oh, this would be like a really cool thing. And then like when you like complete the sticker book, like the book closes, and it you get like a giant star sticker on the front of the book or whatever, right? Like almost like their version of a platinum trophy, and I thought they were going to do that, and they just never did. Also, this would have been the system to keep Miiverse around too, because so many
Yeah.
people or
Street Pass.
yeah, that I was going to say Step Pass, but I was
They
like,
could
that's
have
not right.
opened up Street Pass to be like an online included element where like if we're friends and we're both playing at the same time, that could count as a pass maybe.
Yeah.
They
Or
could have
like if
done
you
something
send
like
each other
that.
messages, maybe there's like different increments of Street Pass where like, oh, if you walk by someone, you get this type of thing, or if you message someone, you get this type of thing.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they brought that back. People still use Street Pass in 3DS. Like it's such a niche little thing. You go to PAX and people are like, oh,
Yeah.
bring your 3DS. I'm like, all right. Will do.
Yeah. The other thing about the Switch too is like I have 5 docks.
Yeah.
I have one on I have a dock on every TV in the house, and one at my desk because why not? It's just so convenient.
Yeah.
So all right. Our next question, the Magic Sticks with an X writes in, hey everyone, first time writing in, but I've been listening for almost 6 months now. I'm really enjoying the show and I look forward to listening into it every week. My question is this: what is your favorite type of game? Genre, open world / linear, first person or third person, RPG, straightforward? Go.
Wow.
That's a tough
Thank you,
question.
Yeah.
Magic Sticks. Thanks for writing in for the first time.
Yeah. thanks for this question. Appreciate
Months
your
ago.
listenage. Is that a word? Listenage? That's a word, right?
Listenership.
It is now.
Yeah.
I think it's patronage.
No, because those are the patrons. Anyways.
Someone that partakes.
I guess it just depends on what mood I'm in. I have figured out, though, by playing Echoes of Wisdom, as much as I'm enjoying it, I think I just prefer 3D games over 2D games, or top-down games. I will say that, and I've thought that for quite a while. Now there are grand exceptions, right? Death's Door is an amazing video game. I love that game. I love Link's Awakening, but I would much rather go play a 3D Zelda game than a 2D Zelda game. Or, I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed lately because I was playing Ghost of Tsushima. My PlayStation 5 won't turn on anymore, so I wanted to scratch that itch, and Assassin's Creed feels like the closest thing at the moment. So like right now I'm like really into like the grand epic open world Ubisoft-esque games. So right now that's my favorite genre, I think.
It does come with seasons, I feel like. But I think when Breath of the Wild came out and Tears of the Kingdom, it solidified my love for 3D open world games with really good action elements.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to explore, and I really want to have good fights.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give up on either of those. I don't know if that takes away from like the Zeldas or the 2D side scrollers or anything like that. Like I feel like that action itch gets scratched by lots of like The Messenger. Great game. Great action game.
Great game.
Yeah. So like, there's lots of like we can just even say like exploration and action.
Mm-hmm.
And you can give me whatever dimensions you want to give me. And I'll probably be okay.
Yeah.
But I really feel like before Breath of the Wild, I feel like it changed my whole outlook. I was so first person shootery, third person action gamey without really needing to explore, but like I love finding stuff that just seems like I found it. I know it was put there by somebody, but there's something about that now that's got me like just because then it's like a trance, and then all of a sudden you're fighting something and it's fun. So it's like,
yeah, you really hit it with the action thing, because like I used to during the PS2 era, I was like really into JRPGs,
mm-hmm.
and then I played Kingdom Hearts, which was kind of a transition into an action RPG style thing, and then like I think ever since then I've had a lot of trouble playing turn-based things. Not that I haven't played turn-based things since then. Like I played Final Fantasy 13, and Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, since we're on the Switch, was a great turn-based thing, but like I really like being engaged with action elements, and Breath of the Wild. Can we just talk about Breath of the Wild for another hour?
We could talk about Breath of the Wild. We were getting into let's rank our favorite Zelda territory earlier.
Yeah. We were.
Yeah. That's me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love JRPGs. That is probably my favorite genre of all. It's just something about the story and the character interactions that just they're nice and they're heartfelt. And usually the worlds are very colorful and very inventive. But I will play just about anything. I do love open world games. I'm a sucker for collecting literally everything on the map. If it has a checklist kind of system, I will check those boxes off. But I also like indies, puzzle games, action. I like everything but sports and multiplayer stuff.
What are there sports in your JRPG like Blitzball?
Ooh.
That I consider a mini game. So, and like fishing.
But it's the world sport.
It is, but it's not a game dedicated to the sport.
That's fair.
Have you played Metaphor? Refantazio?
Refantazio? Yep. I have.
Yeah, I so when I get enticed by a JRPG, it is often a game like from Atlas.
Atlas cooked this year. Like
Mhm.
they didn't release anything lower than oh man, I had a post. I want to say I'll find out what it was, but it
Probably a 9.
no, there was one game that came out that was like oh wait, no, I'm thinking of Sega. They had one game that had a 70.
Oh yeah, they posted that thing, right?
Yeah.
They what was it, Monkey Ball? Something like
Yeah,
that.
Monkey Ball was like 75, and that was like the lowest game that Sega released this year.
Sounds
Yeah.
like it's
But
prime for a redemption
yeah,
review.
I didn't
Atlas, the 86 for Unicorn Overlord was their uh weakest game, I guess, and it's considered one of the best like strategy RPGs. Probably going to win the award for that this year.
it I can't believe Sega released 8 games this year. Like that's
Big year for
And
them.
good
They
games.
don't need no console, man.
I know.
Be
I
sick
know.
if they put out a Sega Saturn 2 or something though.
Oh my gosh, that'd be
I
so great.
oh man, Ed and I probably talk about that at least every 6 weeks. Like, what if Sega has Sega has the IP and stuff now to compete in a console space, but like, why would you at this point? You
No,
know?
they'd be silly too. They
Yeah,
just release stuff on everyone else. Let them do the fighting.
yeah,
Let someone else do the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
yeah. Stephanie, what's your favorite genre of video game?
So it has expanded over the years since I've joined Boss Rush and tried different games. So, but a core theme amongst all of them, because I do enjoy various genres. Like I do like the occasional Metroidvania. I do like your uh, anyway. The point is if it has a good story. So 2D, 3D doesn't matter to me as long as it has a good story. Game mechanics for the most part doesn't matter as long as it's got a good story. My weaknesses are puzzle games because I am not smart. I don't like, or I don't partake necessarily. Not that I don't like. I don't partake in multiplayer because I am socially awkward, and I like playing by myself. I don't like sports games, but everything else I feel kind of is in my wheelhouse. I'm willing to try and play anything indie, but that's more because I want to support indie devs. Um, but yeah, bread and butter is action adventure game with a good story. I think that's why I highly favor uh Sony IP. I'm a Nintendo fan, but I love okay, it's not Sony IP, but the games that I've been playing on PlayStation, like when they first came out, Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us 1, The Last of Us 2, Red Dead 2, um stuff like that. But I used to just say I liked 3D adventure games like Zelda, but now it's
Mhm.
it's a bit more. I just for me it's got to have a good story. Like that's why, for example, I used to never play horror games. I hate horror anything. I hate being scared. I'm a weenie. But now I really love RE2 and RE4 remake because they've got. I mean, they don't have a fantastic story, but they've got rich lore, which is what
Mhm.
I like. I am working my way through Silent Hill 2 remake, which has got crazy lore, and I'm digging it. I'm willing to put up with nightmares on the daily so I can figure out everything and what will happen to James Sunderland. So,
Hmm.
The birth of a Silent Hill fan. You just
Mhm.
mm,
witnessed it. Or at least saw its announcement.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there
So,
anything that prevents you from playing video games? Like a specific things that prevent you from playing games?
PC.
Like a feature. If it's on PC.
well,
That's my preventing thing. If it's a PC only, it's like
yeah.
no, I can't. I don't have a
Well,
Steam Deck.
yeah, I was gonna say, Pat, that used to be me, but because I have a Steam Deck, I can at least play games that are only available PC. I guess nothing really prevents me. There's very few games I will say like hard no, I will not play. Like for example, I wasn't really a big multiplayer person, but I ended up getting Monster Hunter Rise, so I can give it a shot and play with a few people. Like I'm still willing to give games a try. It's just some of them I might not play for an extended amount of time.
I'm really excited for Wilds. So if you play
Yes.
Wilds, we're playing Wilds. And
I played Wilds already.
We're in on that. What stops me from playing a game? I honestly think I get visceral if a game. This is going to come up later, but we're currently, me, Mark, and Dave are playing through Casting of Frank Stone, and I would not play that alone. Not because I'm scared, maybe a little bit, but also mostly because I'm like, oh my gosh, please stop talking, everybody, because there's still less cinematics. And I say this as a huge Metal Gear Solid 4 fan, and I know that game has a literal movie in the middle of it, and it's a bias that I am willing to eat. But I feel like if I know a game is like mostly cutscenes, I'm a button mashing goblin, or like I can't do it. But if they're welded into the game, like Metal Gear Solid does it in the first one, yeah, I feel silly admitting that, but at the same time, I'm like, I know me.
That's all right. That actually reminds me of something. Well, I still have it pre-ordered. When Corey was talking about the Plucky Squire on Nintendo Switch, I'm sure it'll come with a fix later. But like when something seems like just very broken and not pleasant to actually play, that also might.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the tweet with their patch notes for the Switch version, but it was like they put up one of those like graphics with the patch notes on it, and then the last thing on it, because there were so many, it said "and more. Check out our website for more details. More fixes coming soon." I'm like, oh my god, no way.
It makes you want to wait. I'm actually kind of glad because I ordered it from Amazon, the deluxe edition.
Yeah,
on Switch. And it hasn't. I don't even think they've like shipped it.
The physical doesn't come out till like February.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I paid for something that I won't have till February. But yeah.
I actually canceled
by then.
I actually canceled my physical order after I played that.
Oh no!
On Switch.
Man. That's too bad.
Yeah, I restarted the game twice, and I got stuck in the same place 3 separate times.
That's also too bad.
And I was like, "Meh, I'm not."
That kind of thing can really ruin a game's launch.
Yeah. Good thing they got that PlayStation money for PS Plus. That's a game, man. That game is so disappointing.
What about you, Corey? Is there anything?
Well, besides the things that we joke about all the time, like roguelikes and cards, there's when a game's like too serious, I don't really like to play like those types of games. So like I'm going to tell you, the beginning of The Last of Us prevented me from playing that game. And I haven't touched it since like 2013 when it came out. And I was like kind of excited for it because like, oh, Uncharted, new IP from Naughty Dog, cool. After that opening like 20 minutes, I just couldn't play it. I was like, I don't want to, because now this is all I'm going to think about. So that kind of prevents me from that kind of, or like when a game, not that it prevents me from playing it, but like I think God of War is a good example of like they completely changed the way the game, like the IP works in a sense. Like I really love that original trilogy of God of War games, and like I really don't care from the new ones. I've tried. I didn't even beat the last one.
It is pretty risky when you take a long-standing IP like that and sort of throw it into a parallel version of itself, because it is exactly like if you describe both games, like it's action adventure game, plays this dude who kills lots of guys, but they're totally different games. So I totally get that. Like, it's like a shell shock a little bit.
Yeah, and I think Atreus is really stupid too. I hate that character so much. But I just and I know a lot of people love God of War, and I'm not saying it's not a well-made game. It's just I don't know. I kind of was done with God of War after that the new one, and like I said, I didn't even finish the last one. So but I actually have an unpopular opinion. I actually think Horizon is Sony's best IP right now. That's my favorite IP.
I think it's popular. It's a good opinion.
Yeah. But I feel like people hate Aloy though.
Oh, the wrong people hate Aloy.
Yeah, they just don't like her peach fuzz, which we all have, by the way.
It's true.
Yeah, see, I got some right here.
My son likes to point out my peach fuzz all the time.
I feel like that's when kids are like, "Mommy, you have a beard." Yes, I do.
Oh, geez. Speaking of peach fuzz, this next question.
Why? I need to understand why. Oh.
Marine Gamer 1289 writes in. Hello, you
Oh.
beautiful people that make me think about the eggplant emoji most days. Jeez.
This is Steph's alternate account.
Who do you think is the hottest video game character? What makes them attractive? What character makes you feel things you don't quite understand? Thanks for being the peach to my eggplant every week, especially LeRon when he doesn't wear sleeves.
I feel like I'm, of all the episodes, Marine Gamer could have said all this. He doesn't get LeRon, let alone anyone without sleeves.
I know.
It's a letdown.
I actually have a sleeveless shirt on underneath this thing, but
I could like roll my sleeves up, but it's not the same. I'm not. Look at that. That's completely.
Showing some skin.
Look at the difference in my skin tone. Did I wear a shirt all summer? Who knows?
I think we know now.
It's a question and a guess.
Who's to say?
Patrons, donate a couple more dollars and Dan will roll up the other sleeve.
I have my jean shorts on right now. No one needs to know about the jean shorts though. Those are for.
Dan, you're not supposed to show off your skin for free. You need to upsell
it's
that.
Like an advertisement. And that's it. Now it all stays below camera. I'm avoiding answering this question.
That's why I don't stand up and do the show.
Who's the hottest, huh?
I'll start off with a really easy one because he was just here earlier. I love my Leon Kennedy. I know it's cliche. I love him.
But I think this is a very you're given lots of cliche pass on this question. So that's
Ada. And speaking of Resident Evil though, Ada Wong, just throw her in there.
Pretty solid. Gosh, pretty awesome pick. Yeah. Why is solid? What am I, surfer? Like
solid, dude.
Solid, bro. So who's all right? So I mean, I love Tifa. Speaking of cliche picks, I just between her and Jessie, honestly, I think Jessie's a really funny character. No one likes her.
That's a character that grew in the remake version.
Yeah, they changed her. I think it's funny. So she was cool too. So yeah, Final Fantasy characters are easy pick here. I feel like all of them are just all the adult ones. Let me clarify, are absurdly attractive. It's just how they're designed.
Yeah.
Pat, you look like you're thinking real hard.
Shame they have to.
Because I'm thinking literally like every single female character. But I will say, you know what? Let's go with the good old classic one, Lara Croft.
I was
solid.
Nice.
Damn it!
I was gonna say I actually find the new version of Lara Croft really attractive.
That's where the Survivor
trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't like the traffic cone boobies?
I mean, that's how it started.
I've evolved past traffic cones and into
more the intelligent, independent woman that she is.
Traffic tools.
More softer curves.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a TikTok where a dude's laying on the bed and it's like when she dresses up as your favorite video game character and lady walks in like dresses Lara Croft like normally and then he like looks real mad and then he's like wrong one and then she turns around comes back and is Lara Croft but she's got like
the triangle
boobs.
That's awesome.
It's very funny to me. And he's like yes.
Yeah. There's something like really side tangent. There's something really attractive about a woman who dresses normal to me. I don't know.
Compared to what?
Instead of like, like the like, yes, we all enjoy good lingerie. Naked is also a fan favorite, but like a girl that just dresses like normal and knows how to dress her body is like just really attractive. That's all I have to say.
Something about a lady who can rock a regular pair of jeans and a sweater.
Yeah. Or like, yeah, sure.
I feel like that's the tone. I'm picking up on it. I'm not sure.
I'm into it. Sorry. I'm weird.
I can throw a dude out there for my picks.
Okay.
I was thinking about Final Fantasy. Orin from Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
Dude,
he's got real dad energy.
He's got dad energy. He's got like the all around collar.
Mysterious.
Which, as my shoulders explode, I don't know if the microphone picked that up.
But then when he whips off his coat, he's got like the the arms that are like super defined and like
Forget it.
wielding this massive sword.
It's ridiculous. It's not cool. Like I want to be him.
Yep. Not fair.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
That's all we got.
That's all we got.
No more hotties.
No. I mean, we could probably expand on this, but we answered the question, I feel.
I can give 2 quick honorable mentions, and I think this unfortunately gives a peek on like the kind of taste in men that I have, which is not great. But Joel
Yikes.
from The Last of Us. Well, because I don't like. I'm starting to like the older, more gruff, distinguished. Well, he's not. The character himself is distinguished, but like an older gentleman, is just very. I don't know. I'm not gonna keep elaborating there, but just got that daddy energy. So
I mean, you can keep going. I said I'm attracted to girls that dress normal, so just...
Yeah, and I followed up by saying a lady who can rock a pair of jeans. So I feel like
in a sweater.
I like Joel, and then even Alan Wake from Alan Wake 2, which is crazy because he's like a psychopath, like going insane, highly egotistical person. But I don't know.
Alan Wake's a bad person.
something about those disheveled dudes.
Right? I don't know. There's
I
just
get
something
it.
wrong with me.
Well, one's a writer, and you see the value in that, and the other one's Joel from Last of Us. Like that's he gets pretty. I mean, Pedro Pascal plays him on the show. I mean that's
that
sort of
too.
telling. You know what I mean? Like I get it.
Oh man, I just looked up. I Google searched hot video game characters, and I found this page that says the top hottest female video game characters. I didn't specify females.
I know, but the internet assumed.
I know they did.
There's no such thing as a hot video game guy character. No way. That's sarcasm.
I'm just scrolling through. What the? Okay.
Careful. There's another rabbit hole, maybe deeper than the Figma character.
Yeah.
We're gonna not go deep here. We're gonna pull out and answer this next question.
God damn it.
Steven Myers writes in, what's up, you incredible human beings? In the wake of the Ubisoft news about their struggles financially and qualitatively,
sick word.
That's a word. What do you think needs to happen for them to get back on track as a company? Thanks for all you do.
Damn,
come back down to earth. Your expectations are too damn high.
Yeah.
And impossible. And I don't know what makes you think these numbers actually exist.
They used to.
What were you saying, Stephanie?
No, it wasn't really important. I was just making a comment about how nice all these listeners are.
Yeah.
Calling us beautiful and amazing, and thank you.
No.
I get to steal these compliments because I don't know they're talking to me until after the fact. I accept.
It's fine. You're beautiful by association.
It's true.
So. Yeah, sorry. No, I 100% mimic or copy or whatever what Pat said.
Yeah. I think first of all, they're way too big. Ubisoft has 45 internal studios and employs 21,000 people. It's way too big.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be like half that size. That's bigger than Microsoft. That's bigger than Sony by like 3 times.
Wow.
It's bigger than Activision by 2 times. Like they are a huge, huge company. And it's because they don't outsource anything. Everything they do is done internally, which is fine, right? I mean, that's good. It saves them money theoretically. And they have studios in all these places that probably pay super poorly, like Shanghai and Portugal. Maybe not Portugal. That's a bad thing. India, they have all kinds of studios everywhere. But I think unfortunately, what's going to have to happen is they're going to have to scale way back and refocus themselves. Like be like a third of the size and really focus on, putting out 2 or 3 games a year and not AAA, not annualizing Assassin's Creed, but like, okay, maybe we get a Prince of Persia style game. Maybe we get a Beyond Good and Evil. Maybe we get a Rayman, as one of those games. Maybe we get a, their game as a service expansion for the Division or something. And, an Assassin's Creed and a Far Cry and a Avatar style game every 3 years or whatever. Right. I mean, I think they have to really look at that and say, oh, we can't put out 7, 8, 9 games a year, which they do now, which is surprising.
synonym that reminds me of, and now I do feel like I associate with Ubisoft as bloated.
That's a good. I
Mhm.
think that's correct. I think they're,
Mhm.
and it's ironic because like you said, they release that many games in a year.
Mhm.
I don't feel like I can name more than 3 that they've released this year.
Yeah.
It might be partially due to my lack of knowledge, but I feel like nothing stands out besides Star Wars, Prince of Persia, and did they release an Assassin's Creed spinoff this year? Like I feel like,
No.
No.
yeah. So
They
They did
pushed it.
release a Just Dance though.
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Maybe. I
they
don't
also
know.
did X Defiant. They released Avatar
wow,
DLC. They released a Division update. That game's still going.
that's
Rainbow Six
crazy.
Siege got a new season.
Okay,
For Honor is still going. Like those
I didn't
types of
even.
things.
Yeah,
They
so
released
like,
Prince of Persia and then that roguelike Prince of Persia, right? That they outsourced to the Dead Cells
oh
people.
yeah, wow.
So
They've been cranking games out, and it's funny how like they're not explore. Like I feel like Astrobot, you're going to see a wave of really cartoony and fun games come out now,
mhm,
but they're sitting on Rayman, like you said. Like they're
mhm,
sitting on so many other diverse IPs, but there's like leaning into the ones that they're like, oh, people will buy these. These are the
Hmm.
guaranteed.
mhm,
And I don't know anything about business. I barely know enough about the games industry, but I feel like there are good risks to take. And
mhm,
when you have like a proven series like Rayman, like I don't
mhm.
know.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think they thought Prince of Persia would be that, and then it
Yeah, but then
wasn't.
they gave us a Metroidvania, which I think I liked it as a game, but I think what happened is everyone wanted Sands of Time, and they
Mhm,
still want Sands of Time. Yeah,
mhm,
the remake not happening and being delayed or whatever, I feel like left a weird taste in the series' fans'
mhm.
mouths.
Yeah.
It's
The last
nothing.
Rayman game was that Rayman Legend?
Legends. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow, that was what
360.
2013. Like
Unless
Yeah.
you
Oh,
count the DLC for Mario and Rabbids.
Yeah.
right,
And
okay.
Beyond Good and Evil HD remastered this year too.
2013, August 20th,
Oh wow.
2013. That game came out.
Yeah. So
It's
there's
on
a
Switch.
yeah. There's a
Yeah,
lot. I mean, they do a lot, and you have to give them credit for building themselves up to be able to do that. But also, like, you know, the Skull and Bones also this year.
right. And they're just that game, the quadruple A,
Yeah,
right? And how much do we talk about that game? Like it's so wild to me that they're trying to get that live service pie,
yeah.
everyone. And I feel like that took so many companies down
Hmm.
this path
And
where
look at
they're
all
like,
Sorry.
okay, what do we do now?
yeah, and look at all the games they canceled too. They canceled the free to play Division game, the what was it, Heartland. They
Yep.
canceled that Ghost Recon game that was in development. Um, I think they had an Assassin's Creed spinoff that they canceled, but also they put out the VR Assassin's Creed game this year too. I forgot. I forgot they put that out this year.
Their output is not matching what they are probably expecting to have come back. It's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah.
I
So
think they released a crew as well, and
yeah,
maybe some
Jeez.
Rider Republic DLC.
I know the Crew Motorfest came out in
Yeah.
February, I think. So
I'm just Googling 2024 games. There's at least 8,
so
11.
yeah. So my thing is they need to scale way back, and like unfortunately, 2/3 of these people are probably going to lose their jobs. Studios are going to shut down, but they have really great studios, right? They have Ubisoft Montreal, they have Massive, they have Red Storm. They have Ubisoft. What Paris is the other big studio they have that is outputting games. Assassin's Creed Odyssey studio. Um, I think you got to focus on your main studios and then have a couple support studios do their thing. And I think you have to like really, especially if you go private, like you're not going to be able to afford all those studios anyway too, right? Like it doesn't matter how big the check 10 cents going to write you to take you private. It's which is another issue in of itself, but
Right.
I wouldn't trust Tencent any further than I could throw them after what they did with Visions of Mana.
yeah. So
Literally laid the team, got rid of the team the day after the game came out.
That sucks.
I know what a strange strange thing, but yeah, that's my opinion on Ubisoft. I'm the person that loves Ubisoft games. I love Assassin's Creed. I think Far Cry is really interesting. I think I'm waiting for them to fix Star Wars Outlaws, that opening section, the mandatory stealth section that they're taking out. Apparently,
They're
before
taking
I
it
play
out
it.
now.
Yeah, they're it's going to be like they want you to stealth through it, but if you fail, you can shoot your way out of it. Apparently,
Oh,
so
that's funny. I didn't have trouble in that section, but I
um,
know a lot of people hated it.
mhm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I've been waiting. I've been holding off. And at this point, I think it's going to be on sale Black Friday anyway. Right.
Oh, for sure.
And that's also the big thing too, is why I think they're not doing financially well, is because the big joke is like, oh, I'll wait on the Ubisoft game. It'll be on sale in 3 weeks.
Their reputation has become
Yeah.
so disposable in that way. Like, pay
Mhm.
$100 for this game now,
Yeah.
or 30 for it in 3 months.
I mean, look at Avatar. It came out. It was like $70. The premium edition was like 120, and then it, literally in February it was $30.
Wow.
So I mean, why would you buy it at 70? So, anybody else have anything to say about Ubisoft? I'm excited for Assassin's Creed Shadows. I think that game looks cool.
I think I agree with you, Pat, that it's going to be a turning point for Ubisoft one way or another. I think the game itself is going to be decent. I think it's going to be the best Assassin's Creed that we've gotten in a long time.
Mhm.
Personally.
Yeah. The one true James writes in, I don't know if we really have an answer to this question, but we're gonna read it anyway.
It's a big one.
Athanasia is a game that draws inspiration from Alien Isolation, Deus Ex, and System Shock. It's the best spiritual successor to Alien Isolation I've played. What is your favorite spiritual sequel?
I got two. I love Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night,
That's a good one.
and the Yooka-Laylee.
That's also a good one.
But more specifically, the Impossible Lair.
Yeah, that one's much better than the 3D one.
Yeah.
That game's awesome. They have people from the Tropical Freeze team work on that game, which is why it feels so much like that game. I was like, why does this feel so much like Donkey Kong?
It is
And
the
it's
best
like,
Donkey Kong clone there is.
Yeah, Impossible Lair is a great one, and it's like $4 on the eShop right now. So if you want to go check it out, you should.
Impossible Lair.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. It is.
So this is the Tropical Freeze team, huh?
Oh well, no.
Yeah.
Well, it's it's Platonic, but some people left
Platonic.
Retro after Tropical Freeze came out and
Got
went
it.
there to work on Yooka-Laylee.
Yeah, this is a Donkey Kong Country style game. It's 2D.
Yeah. There's even minecarts.
Well, there's minecarts in the original Yooka-Laylee.
I know, but this is like real Donkey Kong minecarts.
Yep,
Like the
very
2D
true.
fall off the cliff trying to get the banana. Man,
They're called Hages this time.
Yeah,
And Quills.
it's fair. It's
I think
fair.
my answer might be Sea of Stars for Chrono Trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Because I played Chrono Trigger so late as compared to when it came out. And I was like, why aren't all RPGs like Chrono Trigger? And that's because I'm an action game goblin, so I need to be hitting buttons at all times. So I think they really recaptured a lot of what makes Chrono Trigger special without blatantly copying it and adding their own. They also added their own stuff to it, and I think that was really nice. And I'm still playing through it, truthfully. And there's DLC coming out for Sea of Stars in November.
Free DLC.
Free, right? So it's great. Like, I'm so excited. So like, it's just, and I love that it's connected to the messenger. I haven't beaten the game yet, so I don't know how exactly, but I can kind of see what's going on, sort of. And yeah, so I think that was just, they really did a good thing with Sea of Stars, and they really honored Chrono Trigger's whole vibe.
Yeah,
that's mine.
Stephanie?
I don't think I have one, to be quite frank with you. I'm not aware of any spiritual successors that are different than the original. The closest I can get to what my experience is in the same franchise, and that would be Link Between Worlds. Link Between Worlds, which is like a spiritual successor of Link to the Past, so to speak. But as far as a actual spiritual, whatever you want to call it, that's a different game, that's a love letter to the originator, I can't think of any right now.
Do you like any Zelda likes? I feel like that's like
Did you like Blossom Tales?
I never finished playing it. I only played like the first hour, so I
Fair.
can't speak to that. I bought Okami, haven't played it yet. I started Death's Door, haven't finished it yet. So there's unfortunately a lot that I've attempted but have not finished. So
Okami special.
And,
That game is good.
Okami is, yeah.
mhm.
Man, Death's Door is such a special game. I love that game so much.
What would that be the spiritual successor to?
What, Death's Door?
Yeah.
Two
Like
games.
a top-down Zelda-ish game, I would say.
That's like Dark Souls. Also,
Mm.
you dodge is Dark Souls. That's the rules.
You roll in Zelda. It's the fastest way to get around.
Zelda's a Dark Souls game.
Or Tunic, maybe Tunic.
Tunic's good. I wasn't sure if you played Tunic.
Yeah.
No.
Tunic
Tunic started great, but it got too heavy with the direction puzzles at the end. And that stupid level when they bring you back down to level 1 and expect you to fight like the end game style villains in an arena battle.
Yeah, they'll get you.
Yeah,
For me, I have quite a few actually. I had to like rekindle my memory here, but I think Lost Odyssey and Last Story from Mistwalker as spiritual successor to Final Fantasy games. I mean, Lost Odyssey is the best Final Fantasy game in my opinion, hands down, no
Not
question.
Bravely Default.
No, and I hate that it's stuck on the Xbox 360. I mean, I know it's backwards compatible on the Xbox, but like, never got a PC release, never got a HD remaster for other platforms. Like, I don't know. I'm really, really, really hoping that game gets some sort of re-release at some point because its anniversary is coming up soon. I think its 20th anniversary is in 2028, which is insane. That game's that old. I would say Xenosaga and Xenoblade Chronicles X specifically for Xenogears.
I want them to do something with
I know
Xenogears.
I know they're kind of like pseudo in the same universe, but they can't say that it is because they're not, different publishers and companies on the IP. But
yep.
So those come to mind. Let's see. And then I already said Death's Door. I would say they only made 1 year of this, but when EA bought had the exclusive license to the NFL, NFL 2K kind of went away, and then they made a all pro football 2K something or other, 2K7 or 2K8, which was like a spiritual successor to NFL 2K from the Dreamcast era, and that was a really, really great alternative that featured a lot of NFL legends, not, and then you could like create your own players and stuff to add to your roster, and it was really cool. But they only did 1 year of that, and it was only like a season mode, and it was very bare bones, but that was cool. Let's see. Oh, that's the wrong doc. Our last question comes from Devin. Devin. Sorry, Devin. I don't know how to say your last name, and I don't want to butcher it and sound like an idiot. Hello, all. I found your show from the Animal Well interview you did, and I really enjoy the content. I loved Animal Well, and I think the creator is a very interesting person. My question is about indie games in general. What are the indie games that made you think, wow, indie games are here to stay and are amazing? I can think of quite a few, but I wanted to get your thoughts. Thanks for the pod. Looking forward to diving into the back catalog.
I can also think of quite a few.
Yep.
Yeah.
Steph, this is totally your question.
Yeah.
I mean, my answer is quick because I try a lot of indie games, but there are definitely, it takes a special one to make me stick with it. For me, it's Shovel Knight, definitely. Axiom Verge is one. Hyperlight Drifter was one. Death's Door is one. Azure Striker, Gunvolt. I'm not sure that's really an indie title, but that was a really great game. So those are the few that really stand out to me. Bastion is one I really love. So those are kind of Super Meat Boy.
Super Meat Boy, I feel like, was the one that the world saw and said, "Oh, one person." I think it was one person who made it.
Yeah.
And oh, okay. And then that's the way it goes. For me, it was Fez, straight up, like just
good old
like
Fez.
yeah. It just I was funny. I was looking through my PlayStation catalog earlier, and you can actually look from date purchased, and it goes back to the PS4. And it was like the third game I bought on PS4, and I think I got it because I got it on the Vita. And I remember just thinking like, wow, this was one person. And also this game is cavernous. Like I'm lost and it's beautiful and it sounds good. What is happening? And then I started daydreaming about making a game because I was like, one person did this. I could do this. Clearly not, not then anyway. Yeah, Fez, just like, if you haven't played Fez, it's like the indie game. There's a movie called Indie Game that came out talking about Jonathan Blow and Phil Fish and all the indie developers of that era that were like, yeah. So if you haven't watched that movie, you should definitely check it out.
Speaking of Jonathan Blow, man, Braid Anniversary kind of came out and was kind of a fart in the wind.
He's
pissed about that.
He's mad about the game?
Yeah, because nobody bought it. The Anniversary edition.
Oh, I didn't realize. Oh yeah, the re-release.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
One that took me by surprise just because I avoided it based off of the genre, but Inscription is a fantastic indie game that just, I don't know, it's a lot of fun and full of lore. So I just throw that out there. And I just kind of like to, play a lot of the indie games that I discover through packs. So maybe if they are not at the necessarily at the level of popularity as an Inscription or Hades is another big one, right? Um, there's just been a lot that I played that I thoroughly enjoyed, like Smooshy Come Home, Farewell North. Those are kind of recent-ish ones that I've played that are indies that I love.
Yeah, for me, indies, I draw towards indies with amazing stories. The narrative-driven ones. I've obviously I rave about A Space for the Unbound. That's like one of my favorite indie games of all time. But also other Toga games like Coffee Talk was a great game.
You're right, yes.
I just recently played a Filipino game called Until Then. I picked up another kind of walking narrative sim called shoot, what is it called? It's from Japan. I think it's like The Last Time I Saw You is what it's called. And I look forward to diving in. In fact, I might actually consider that a spoopy title because it's got yokai in it. Just to play it this week. But yeah, for me, it's their indies give the creators a chance to tell a very good story, and that's what draws me to a good indie game. In fact, I'll talk about one later on in the show.
It was Cocoon last year or this year?
Last year.
Last year.
I think that was a pretty big one too for indies, right?
Yeah,
Does that
Annapurna.
count? I was gonna say because
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about like what does indie actually mean at one point, and like I don't know.
Dave the Diver pushed the envelope on what that is.
Yeah. He killed. Dave killed the conversation.
Yeah, Cocoon. See, you could say it technically isn't because one publisher, one developer, different.
Yeah.
But I think it goes back more to the scale of both the publisher and the developer.
Yeah.
Like if they're both independently indie level, then I think they still kind of qualify in today's day and age.
Would you call games published by Devolver indie?
I still do, but I see why you wouldn't. I feel like they're getting pretty big.
Yeah.
I lean more towards the development team size. And so a game like Neva that just came out from Devolver, I would consider an indie title, even though Devolver funded the game.
Right.
Or at least published a game. But you also got games like Moon Studios, I thought was a pretty small group, but they were funded by Microsoft. Did Ori, or even like Zao,
Tales of
the
Kinzua,
Tales, yeah.
Sad news about that studio today.
Oh no, really?
They laid everybody off.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think it happened yesterday, actually.
Yeah, of course the Gooners will say that was a win on their side.
Yeah, they already did. They already have.
Yeah.
I feel really bad for them. That game was actually really good too.
It was. It was a very good Metroidvania. But also things like Child of Light from EA or Ubisoft. I think the team was relatively small for that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it's maybe development size.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Unpacking. I really loved that game. Chained Echoes, Crosscode. Those games are very good. What was the other indie game that I played that I really, really liked? Oh, Ravenlock from Coco Cucumber. I really liked a lot. It's like this Zelda like in a Alice in Wonderland style world. It's really cool. Highly recommended. It's on Game Pass. So if you want to check it out. I loved that game. It's like the hardest 7 you've ever given a game, but I still liked it.
Don't discredit the 7s.
I know.
Those are always, that means that there's something keeping it above on the surface level.
I know. I mean, according to everybody else, I'm a diehard for 7s. I love Assassin's Creed. Everybody says those are 7s. Well,
guess I'm lucky 7.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network. All right, so let's thank you for writing in, everybody. It's made for a great show, but we're gonna get into what we've been playing and then we'll get out of here. Dan, you are our esteemed guest, as they say.
I'm your esteemed Steam playing guest.
What are you playing?
So the first two on here, I feel like we're going to talk about a lot, at least for the first one, is Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. We're going to talk about it a lot, but it's just scratching such a specific itch that I didn't realize Zelda games specifically scratch. And this, we talked about it earlier, exploration, puzzle solving, less combat, which is fine with me. But that, to me, that was like such a cool move on their part, because like, I don't know, it's just fun to have to think of how to kill something without having the ability to actually fight stuff. It's interesting to me. And he's been playing it. That's been fun to watch. I'm trying to avoid where she goes, and she's trying to avoid where I go. So the spoilers are kind of, I mean, they're fine. Whatever. it's
How
not
many
like,
dungeons have you done?
I'm up to the first dungeon after the first two. So the third one technically, but
Which
I
one do you
went
pick?
to Goron.
Me too.
I went to Death Mountain.
I'm there
Yeah,
right
right?
now. No way.
Okay, cool. We're like paced. Maybe we can
Yes.
share some notes, because like,
I scared my cat.
Yeah. Pax is like, no, not Death Mountain. It's been cool, especially like Death Mountain. It's so hard. Everything's on fire. I'm dying constantly. So it's been like the game's difficulty ramped up, and it's just funny because we're still going back to the fact that Zelda's just like a wizard doing wizard stuff. And I think that's really cool. I think they've like proven that it's a lot more than swinging your sword at all sorts of enemies and hoping for the best. So I hope they keep challenging what it is to make a Zelda game. And if this is a sign of that, I hope that they've seen that we love it, because it's just a cool. They did it with Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. So I feel like they're going to start pushing it more. Like hopefully they do that right. But it's been cool.
Yeah. I do appreciate their return to form with their dungeons. It's just been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I feel like my how do I want to say this? I was really high on it when I first started playing it, and now I feel like I'm at a point where like I feel like I'm using the same echoes over and over again to solve puzzles, and I feel like in probably self-imposed kind of constriction of like, I got to solve the puzzle this way because I haven't experimented enough with the other echoes to know what they do, so I don't know. And I'm still using the beds a lot and the water blocks and the those types of things.
The water block is sort of game breaking, but also not. I think the tiles are very game breaking.
I love the tiles.
They're cool. I like how we can control them because they've been like this notorious thing for Zelda games, and now that we have them, I'm like, yes, now you're mine. So it's I feel like I had trouble relying on some of the same echoes as time went on. So maybe you haven't found a challenge yet that has taken you off guard, Corey. Maybe that's lying in the horizon.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I'm still enjoying the game a lot. I just I don't know, maybe I'm just kind of like ready for the end to be around the corner and excited to see how it ends and what happens and all that stuff. But yeah, there is something really magical about how they took that. You can, kind of solve puzzles how you want in the 2D space though, because I was very unsure how that was going to work in a 2D space. And it turns out it works better in a 2D space than maybe in the 3D space.
It does.
Who knew?
You're relying less on janky physics. As you maybe sort of in Tears of the Kingdom, I definitely relied on janky physics half the time. Which
I mean,
is
how
part
else
of
are
the
you
time.
going to get those signs to stand up? And
exactly. You gotta put a bunch of rocks next to it and hope for the best. But my other two games are kind of. I feel like Destiny is like whatever. I hate saying it like that.
How do you feel about the release of Revenant? Like how they dropped everything.
That could be its own episode. It's like I just think that the storytelling currently needs work, and it wasn't about pacing of the release. It was about the pacing of the actual story. And I think this 3-act structure is part of the problem. But it's been like, the new dungeon's out. It's fun to do with my friends doing this. It's where we hang out, so that's really what it is. It comes back to that more or less, but there's not so much to say about it because like I've only been playing it a couple nights a week compared to like what I usually do. I'm making sure to get the pins I'm going to get for the rest of the year and reevaluate when the new big expansion comes out, Frontiers. Reevaluate.
Yeah.
Where I don't think I'll be doing any more pin hunting. And I'm like, okay, well then from there, what is the game to me?
Yeah.
And then
it's they're in this really weird holding pattern, I feel like, and then like obviously everybody getting laid off doesn't really help the trajectory of this game, right? But not to make this all about Destiny because we could, but I feel they laid off like a lot of their major storytellers, and then the ones that didn't get laid off left on their own accord, like what's her name, the expansion lead that I just Cat left, and
Katarina something, I think.
Yeah, and then which is funny because we were supposed to have her on Tower Casuals at one point, and then she left.
Awesome.
And I'm trying to reconnect with her, but it it's just in this weird holding pattern. These episodes feel like a band-aid to try to let them hold on until the next big thing, right? Until Apollo drops or Behemoth or whatever.
Frontiers is the first big thing, and then that's after that it's going to be those.
I just I'm really hoping they know what they're doing because I mean obviously Destiny is important to a lot of people, including us, and I don't want Destiny to kind of take that Halo trajectory of like everybody loved it until they didn't type thing.
Yeah,
I kind of wish the Final Shape was it to be honest.
I think for a while that was the plan, and then
Yeah.
I think along the way they were like, "Oh, what are we gonna do after?" And then
Yeah.
they tried to get Marathon going. Yeah, it's we'll see. It's been
I want
a holding pattern for me for sure. Like I'm sort of like just waiting and
Mhm.
seeing. My grind is not so real right now, so
Yeah. I wonder if they were planning on having Marathon out before the final shape released, and that
it felt
was
like that.
supposed to be like, okay, the final shape is the end
Yeah.
and Marathon is our game now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, we could totally.
Yeah. We can unpack that
Yeah.
box of
And then the last game is me, Mark, and Dave are playing this. We haven't played a game, the three of us, like this in a while, but we're playing the casting of Frank Stone, and we each are a player, and Dave will remote share us the controller, which is funny for Mark and I because we have to deal with latency. And there's like timing based puzzles, which will result in a character's death if failed. So we haven't had any issues.
I was gonna say, whoops.
Yeah, I'm playing as Madison. I don't know if you've played the casting of Frank Stone,
Not
but
yet.
I am Madison, and I think she's like somehow integral to the main story. Well, she obviously, but I think like there's like a backstory they tell that you don't know if she's part of it yet. But it's interesting. I don't know if you guys have played it at all. But
I've seen a little bits here and there, so
yeah,
I
it's like
know.
Until Dawn.
Yeah, it's Until Dawn, but it takes place in the Dead by Daylight lore
Right.
about the original uh, serial killer and his connection to the entity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they use Dead by Daylight effects and things in the game,
Hmm.
and they don't. If you don't know what it is, you're like, "What's that?" But when you do, it's like total fan service.
Mhm.
And I don't know a lot about Dead by Daylight personally, so for me, that's cool.
Hmm.
That's like the most I get out of it.
Nicolas Cage is in it as
Is he
DLC.
really?
As DLC. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I gotta download the Nicolas Cage DLC. Oh, Dead by Daylight.
Dead by
Yeah.
I
Daylight.
thought
Not
you meant the casting of Frank Stone. It's like,
no.
is he Frank Stone? Did you just spoil it?
I mean, maybe he is. I don't know.
It'd be really funny.
He's versatile enough to be
Yeah.
Frank Stone.
No, I
But-
think he's in Dead by Daylight just as Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
But that's my current rotation. There's lots of little indie games in there, but I feel like
Yeah.
it wasn't the time for it.
Oh, Stephanie, still playing that Silent Hill.
Yeah, same two games. Echoes of Wisdom. I also am at the Goron region. It's very funny because my son doesn't say it right, and she always asks me how the morons are doing.
Wow,
They are. Fair enough. They are morons.
they do
It's
eat
like,
rocks.
are you going
They
into
also
Moron
aren't
Cave? I'm like,
really smart.
Goron. But of course, now that I laugh, he intentionally says it now.
Hmm.
Now, is this the? Did you both go to this dungeon after the castle, or because you
Yes.
got 3 new options? All right, so this is your first one of the new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
went to what was familiar.
hmm And then yeah, Silent Hill. I just arrived at the prison, so
Ooh,
yeah, I'm
It
getting
sounds scary.
close. I
Mm.
think there's the prison and then the labyrinth and then I don't know something else near the end. So things are really ramping up.
the
Um,
hotel.
the hospital level was definitely very scary. The boss fight, Flesh Lips, was terrifying and just nasty.
I
Um,
mean, they're made of flesh already. Why does it need to be named Flesh Lips? That's
Mm.
There's a lot of sexual innuendo in this game, and it actually ties to the
all right.
story. So
I know that's
I
why it just
mean,
intrigues me so much.
it's very interesting, and I mean that.
I'm getting over being mostly terrified. I think the only enemy that still gets me are the mannequins because they are so freaking fast. And if I
Uh-uh.
don't look around the corner quickly, they'll just like grab onto me and deal a lot of damage. Sometimes I'll spot them like, "Oh, you're curled up under a table," but if you point the gun at them, the light will flicker and then they go and they go all over the
Nah, dude.
place. And I'm
it's like,
bad
how
at
do you
aiming
see
and I
that? You
waste
don't have eyes. The mannequins don't have
yeah.
eyes.
I know. They move too fast. I don't like them, but so yeah, so it's technically nothing new, but I am making progress. Hopefully I'll beat it by next week. We'll see because the DLC for Alan Wake 2 The Lake House drops tonight slash tomorrow, whatever, in an
45,
hour.
55 minutes.
Yeah.
I would throw
More
my
slew.
controller so fast if stuff comes at me like that. I'm good.
Yeah, stuff's scary.
It's a great
Hide.
game.
Yeah, so.
Oh.
All right, who's next?
Pat, what about you? What are you playing?
I beat 4 games this last week.
No way.
This is what happens when you start playing like a whole bunch of games all together and you get to a point where you don't beat any of them. Now you get to the point where you literally beat all of them. So just to kind of go through the list fast, I beat the first part of the Ace Attorney Investigations collections. So the first game, Miles Edgeworth, and fantastic. Absolutely love that story. Still highly recommend it. Cannot wait to jump in to the second one, which is the one I have never played fully.
Nice. I actually just downloaded the Phoenix Wright trilogy.
Dude, play it.
I was looking, because like after Zelda, I'm like looking for something that's completely different than Assassin's Creed, and I was like, Pat's been talking about these Ace Attorney games on an awful lot lately. Maybe I should give it a whirl.
If you like it, there could seriously be some book clubs on this.
Yeah,
Um,
write that down.
Yep. Speaking of book club, game number 37 that I beat is Emil the Smiling Man.
Did you smile while playing it?
Oh, this game. There were some jokes in the game, but this is a very serious game, and it's definitely not something you would smile about. Uh, it. I personally loved the story. I loved how at first the game kind of gives you like a freak out ending, but then they add an epilogue that explains kind of everything else that like happened behind the scenes. But other than that, the game's fantastic. The story is absolutely tragic, um, and just like it makes you think a lot. The only thing I don't like about this game is that it's very random to know what you need to do. Whether you need to talk to someone, show them something, look at something to enable to get the dialogue to actually like move forward. Luckily, but that was the problem though with the other Famicom games is that they had those options and you literally had to do the one thing or one thing multiple times and able to actually get like the plot moving. But at least this one, like if you click on think, you usually get a hint of whether you need to look at something or talk, about a specific question or topic to someone. Uh, but yeah, other than that, the story though is just it was good, and I can't wait to talk about this on our next book club. So stay tuned for that. We will be having special guest Eddie from Pow Block.
What?
He is going to be on this one.
Are you sure he doesn't work? Is he going to do it from the store?
Nope, he's he's committed. He's committed to it, so he's stuck. Yep, and we'll also have Celia Schilling from Yacht Club. Will also be joining us.
That's really cool.
Nice.
Yep. All right, so just wanted to get those out of the way. The game I do want to talk about though is Neva. Game number 38 and platinum number 92.
Nice.
This game this game was a masterpiece to me. Like the story, it is. I mentioned this in my review on or my little mini review I did on Twitter, but it is a very telling how good a story can be if you can tell that story with very minimal words. And that's where I feel like Neva definitely delivers. There's no dialogue in the game. It basically you kind of look around the what's going on in the world to kind of get like what's happening. And that the story is being told through the connections of both Neva and Neva is being the wolf creature, and Elba, who is the character that you play. and it is things that I really really enjoyed is seeing how like in the beginning of the game, Neva starts off as a wolf pup, and Neva's like completely dependent on you to protect her. But then, as you know, the seasons grow, as the seasons change, Neva becomes bigger, and she becomes more of the like. When you and Neva fight together, Neva is clearly the more powerful of the two of you, and like you are relying more heavily on Neva to like help you out with puzzles or other like combat and things. So I absolutely loved like just seeing that growth. Um, the art is absolutely beautiful. It's stunning. It's very colorful, and the colors kind of help set the mood of like what's kind of going on, and like just set the atmosphere as well. And of course, the music is absolutely fantastic. Like it is always pushing the scenes forward. There are some boss fights in this game where the music is just like almost integral to like just like how much urgency or like just feelings that are going on with these like with what's going on. Obviously, I don't want to say what's going on because that would be spoiling the game. But this is a game I feel like if you want to enjoy a nice like emotional experience, especially if you're like a pet owner and you have that connection with an animal, this game's gonna tug at your heartstrings. It's also gonna make you feel very sad too. Like you'll feel something within the first 5 minutes of this game. It's one of those.
How long did it take you to beat the game?
Um, I would say 4 to 5 hours, but there were
Okay.
several times where I felt like the trophy didn't pop up when it should have. So I went and replayed sections to make sure I didn't miss anything again
Mhm.
for because I got the platinum of it. If you were to just kind of go through the story, you could probably beat it in like 3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah,
Short and sweet.
it's very short, very sweet.
Short and sad.
Sure. I mean, there are some nice moments in it
Yeah.
too, but it's about a journey of these two surviving in a world that's dying.
Yeah.
So there are obviously more themes going on, but I'd recommend you play the game before you discuss what's
Hmm.
going on, and then you can like formulate your own thoughts and opinions. Like I had my thoughts of what the story was about, and of course I checked message boards and got their opinions. I'm like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense too, and it leaves it up to your interpretation what you think is going on.
It's
So
pretty cool.
yep,
I've been excited to check it out, and now I'm more excited. And I'm happy to hear that the runtime was about what I was hoping. Four to
yep,
5 hours tops sounds
yeah.
like perfect for that kind of game.
And again, like I said, that's because I had to replay sections to get
Yeah,
an
so it could be
achievement to
shorter.
pop up. So if
Hmm.
you're not an achievement whore like me, it's like 3 hours.
Well, if it's one of those easy platinums, you kind of can't say no sometimes. But
Oh, I mean, it's a very collectathon platinum. Like
mhm.
there are a lot of every season has flowers, but like every like part of like the story section has like find these birds or destroy these statues or
Mhm.
purify these things, and there's a certain number, and I feel like I must have missed one or two a couple times and had to go back and do the whole thing over again to catch what I missed. But yeah, it is a simple platinum as long as you have a guide with you.
Cool.
Yep. And then finally today, since I want to try and get some Halloween themed games out before the end of October, I finished off Castlevania Order of Ecclesia
Nice.
from my Dominius collection, or Dominus, yeah, the Dominus collection. Um, to me, this is probably the weakest of the Castlevania, the DS Castlevania games. It's they try to do some different things with it, like not having the game focused on the castle, but more on the countryside. Which okay, but they tend to reuse a lot of the same like maps, but maybe give it like a color swap, which for me I feel is kind of on the lazy side. This is also one of the harder Castlevanias, at least in the newer generation, and I'm thankful that the game had a rewind feature to it because I use that a lot of times. Bosses in particular tend to hit you and kill you within like 3 hits. And that can get very annoying, especially when you don't get like iframes in those hits. So they can like literally stand on you and you just watch your health just go, just,
Great.
yeah,
You become Goombad.
pretty much. Um, but like it's all right. It's still a decent game. Like if I had to give it a rating out of 10, I'd probably give it a 6. It's the weakest of the 3D Castlevanias, but I gotta say, at least the Dracula fight's actually pretty epic in that one. He feels very powerful, and not just because he can kill you in like 2 hits.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's pretty powerful.
Yep. Also, well, nah. Play the game.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like a Dark Souls boss. It kind of gets 2 attacks off on you and you're done.
Okay. I'm gonna spoil it anyways, just because it's like 15-year-old game. Like his second form, he walks, which is like the first time Dracula's ever done that at any Castlevania game. Like he usually just teleports everywhere, and he does that in the first half of his battle. But then when you hit him, like get his energy down enough, he all of a sudden starts walking, and then he can kick you and just he's moving around. It's like son of a bitch, and somehow this makes him a lot harder when he actually uses his feet.
If he only ran, then he could probably actually win.
I mean, he has a move where he like disappears and then he reappears, but he's like charging at you, and like if he grabs you, then he drains your energy.
Great.
Yeah. So he does kind of run in that move.
Yeah.
Nice. Is that it? Is that
For now? There were other games, but we don't have much time.
Yeah. Well, I'll make mine short and sweet because we already talked about Zelda, and I'm sure people really want to hear about a 7-year-old Assassin's Creed game. But it's funny though because like I was talking to Ed about this on Pal Block this week, but I've been really itching to play older Assassin's Creed games again. And so I'm in Origins because I realized I never played the Hidden Ones DLC. And I was looking through my achievements, and this was the last game I beat before my daughter was born, which is like really not like important, but it was kind of neat to. It was neat because like achievements, like they're just kind of like timestamps of your gaming history, and it's really fun. And what was I doing at this point in my life when I was playing this, and I played and finished the Hidden Ones DLC. I finished it. Bayek is such a cool character, and like I thought his wife Aya was really cool in the main game, but Bayek in this DLC is like really, really just he's one of their best characters. He's grown to be one of my favorite characters in the series. Obviously Ezio is up there, and I really like Edward Kenway, but and then the twins from Syndicate are really cool, but Bayek has become one of my favorites. And this Hidden Ones DLC is kind of like the formation of the Brotherhood of the Assassins, and at the end of the main game, him and I kind of split ways to form different regions of the Brotherhood, and this is his kind of part of it. So it's really cool. I really like the kind of like the puzzles that they have in this area. But there's nothing. I mean, it's an Assassin's Creed game. There's nothing really new to say. But Curse of the Pharaohs is the next part of it, which I'm playing through now, which is kind of really takes on the mythology of ancient Egypt. Like I just fought the god of Nefertiti, and now I'm in King Tut's afterlife realm, and I'm getting ready to go fight King
Sheesh.
Tut in whatever form he decides to take. So that's super cool. And I'm just really enjoying it. It's like really scratching that itch of like, this is mindless fun, but also like a checkbox game that I can kind of just check things off. And
Yeah.
but the things I actually have been doing, I've been watching a lot of TV lately, which is not like me, really. I've been watching Agatha All Along on Disney Plus, which is really, really good.
I just realized that I've been missing episodes. I just have been watching it.
It's getting very good. Although it's very like, if you've been keeping up with the MCU, like it's very like, oh, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
But, you really do.
Right.
And then, I'm really just watching because Aubrey Plaza's in it, and she's been my crush since The Office, or since Parks and Rec was on. So
solid reason to watch a TV show.
Yeah. And then
solid again.
Jeez. I've been watching Nobody Needs This on Netflix, and it's not a pop culture. I mean, it's, I guess, pop culture, but like not nerd culture.
Nobody needs this, or nobody wants this.
Nobody wants this. Sorry. It's a romantic comedy about it has Kristen Bell in it, and what's his name? I always forget the guy's name. But he's
Adam Brody.
Yeah, Adam Brody. He's like a non-traditional rabbi, and she is the host with her sister of a sex podcast, and it's about them exploring a relationship together. And it's like, it might be my favorite show I've watched since Mad Men was on. Like, I'm not even kidding. I'm like really into this show.
It looks like a really funny premise.
It's funny. It's really heartfelt. I don't know if any of you guys watched Veep, but the tall, skinny guy that was like the idiot in that show. He plays
Tony Hale?
No.
Reed Scott.
I forget what his name is. But he plays the brother of the rabbi, and he's really funny. And then the dynamic between Kristen Bell and the girl that plays her sister is really good, and their parents are all crazy, and it's just a really funny, heartfelt show. And even if you're not into romantic comedies and you just want something to watch that's kind of funny, and I don't want to say mindless, but like just feel
something
good,
you can just put on and not worry about.
Yeah, it's very fun. It's by the same producers that did The Good Place.
I was gonna say Kristen Bell in The Good Place is a great show.
Yeah, and a lot of the characters that were in The Good Place are actually in the show too.
Actors.
The robot girl from The Good Place. What's her name? She's in it.
Yeah,
it's a very good show. Highly recommended. So that's kind of
Janet.
Yeah, thank you. So that's kind of all I've been doing. I've just kind of been in like this weird, like, I want something comforting mode because everything else is so chaotic that I'm just like, I can control this comfort, and it's nice. Anyways, we're gonna wrap it there. We did it. Another banger of an episode.
Podcast has been created.
It has. Well, sort of. We gotta hope Zencastr doesn't crash within the next 5 minutes.
Oh, that would be annoying.
It does do that.
Great.
Dan, thanks for joining us today. This was fun. I'm glad you accepted my last minute invite.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I could do that. I have time tonight. What an opportunity. I was going to go out today too.
Ooh.
And I was around. So
yeah, nice.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, anytime. You are welcome here anytime.
I might take you up on that more often. I got to get my podcasting chops.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Yes. We're looking to expand. Pat, Stephanie, thank you for your time tonight as always. And everybody out there, thank you for listening. Remember to subscribe on YouTube, rate us on podcast services, support us on Patreon. You get the pre-show and a bunch of other perks for as little as $1 a month. It'd all be yours. Thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. Until next time, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.